Andy Dunn, how can Ireland beat the All Blacks?
Oh my God. Wasn't expecting that one. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No.
Yeah.
But how?
Um,
I can start with Murray.
How can Ireland beat the All Blacks? I would say to try and slow down their ball is one way of doing it, because like we mentioned, their attention to detail and their commitment to doing the simple things well, that often comes down to if and when they are tackled, like something as basic as their ball placement and their body position and how they fight for a foot or a foot and a half to get the ball back on their own side. It allows the guys who are smashing in on to hit that ruck. It allows them a clean pathway, and it allows their 9 in Smith to get the ball away cleanly. All that is happening in probably under 3 seconds. If we can slow that down, you take a lot of flow out of their attack. But it's not like there's a list of how to beat the All Blacks. Here's the top 5 ways on somebody's blog. But I think that would be one of the key areas.
Yeah,
if you were to write a blog, Murray, about how to beat the All Blacks,
I'd be coaching Ireland if I actually knew. But looking back through those 4 defeats, so like Ireland beat them in 2016 in Chicago. There was the Lions in 2017. Australia did it in 2017 as well. And there was a Springboks this year. They were all quite different matches. One of the main things that stood out was just how unbelievably clinical all 4 of those teams were in those games against the All Blacks. They're not perfect. Like, they don't defend as well as they attack. They give up a lot of line breaks. It's quite clear that the players have a lot more enthusiasm, I would say, for attacking and spend a lot more of that in their development, in their club sides. So there are going to be opportunities. But you have to be like, Ireland in Chicago had 9 visits into the 22 against the All Blacks, and they scored 7 of those times, which is a really good return. Like, England were a little bit sloppy. There were 2 or 3 visits in the second half, I can remember off the top of my head, where they didn't get a good return. And I think of the Lions, they were 5 out of 6 in those visits to the 22, scoring tries, scoring points. Australia 2017 as well, moments as well where they took decisions to go for the corner and go after those tries. Knowing in a sense that they were going to concede to the All Blacks a little bit later in the game. And you saw Ireland do that in 2016 as well. Turn down possible 3-pointers and go to the corner even early in the game, kind of set out your stall. Now, obviously, you do want to prevent the All Blacks scoring, but I think you have to almost accept the fact that they're going to get a couple of tries in this game. One of the things defensively, I think, that they do differently to most other teams, like everyone has like 14 or 13 in the line now. They actually keep their scrum half out the back of it. And you saw it for Conor Murray's try in 2016, where Aaron Smith is in behind the ruck. Suddenly he comes up into the line. He's reorganising a couple of props, and we mentioned those guys maybe in defensive line alignment. They can often be the weakness because maybe they're not as quick moving. Their decision making sometimes isn't as quick. And in that instance, he's trying to call, I think it was Owen Franks, to come from the other side of the ruck, fold around. CJ Sander, in fairness, gets a little block on, but there was just that confusion. Conor Murray dummies and goes through for his try. You've seen a lot of teams go after that this year. Argentina, South Africa have done it. The Aussies have done it with a bit of success. A couple of line breaks, a couple of penalties. There's several examples of it. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Ireland kind of work that aspect of it, because Aaron Smith will be coming in out of the line, he'll be dropping out, he's trying to organise guys on the fold as well at the same time, so there's often a lot of moving parts, and probably they will miss Conor Murray in that aspect, those decision making moments. But you'd back Joe Schmidt to have picked out a couple of other little bits like that as well, and his intellect, I guess, is a big advantage in this game, but that'll be an interesting part of it for me.
Yeah, like, clearly you have to be clinical if you're going to put these guys away. Like you alluded to there, Mary, I think you need to nearly take every single chance you get. We saw in the second game in 2016, there's that sort of that little moment where Sean O'Brien comes around off the back of a scrum. Was it or a maul, actually? I can't even remember, but I just remember the knock on. It was a missed opportunity in the 22.
Back of the maul, yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of feel as though if that happens again, it's like, this one's going to get away from us. But from a player's perspective, then, like, if you do miss a couple of opportunities early against them, do like, how do you prevent the doubts from creeping in? Because I presume half of you is thinking, like, we might have missed our chance here already.
Well, in Chicago, I think even what were we, 12, 14 points clear with 6 minutes to go, there's nobody kind of, walking out and putting the kettle on, is there? Like, it's you've got to have Yeah, I mean, and no one is ever going to be 20 points clear of them with time to go. But it's just how dangerous they are, and they can turn that 14-point deficit as they did against South Africa in the recent series really on a sixpence. I think an interesting challenge for Ireland, looking at what England did last week, is if we get early penalties, do we take the points and just try and build momentum and build confidence, or do we take them on and try and, knowing it's very hard to know the answer, and but 3 points, 6 points, 9 points, 12 points in the first 15 minutes, do we pick off 4 penalties, or do we throw the kitchen sink at them? I genuinely don't know the answer. I know, Murray, you're saying, I'd fully agree, by the way, if you're clinical in the opposition 22 against New Zealand, you've a great chance of beating them. But if you take the gamble, go for the line out, don't get it, and you've spurned 3 kickable penalties, that's 9 points kind of begging, and that's again probably not enough against them.